Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I thought I would come on here and do a live as opposed to a recorded video today. I set up my space and I was like, you know what? We are still in Taurus New Moon energy. I am not going to channel the Sagittarius full moon just yet. So I thought I would add an extra just guidance on this Taurus New Moon, how it will affect you 3 days before the day, 3 days after. I'm just getting my sage all ready for our reading. Um, and I'm really excited. I'm going to pull some cards in this video. We're going to just hang out on this live, chat, connect, and let me know, even if you're watching the replay, and in the chat while we're live here, how you're feeling for this Taurus new moon. I know for me, I am feeling it because I'm about to have my moon cycle. Curious if anyone is syncing up with the new moon or the full moon, because I'm currently now switched to new moon, which is all about environment, rest, and family and relationships, which it checks out, right? So Diva, hello. Which signs of the moon are impacted the most? I'm going to go into all of what you need to know as far as a general reading. So I will make it specific though. So the way that I work with my readings is I work with nature, plants. Astrology, I do work with it, but I most of the channel messages are all the plants supporting me to guide you guys. So hello, Gail. How are you? Syncing as well. I know everyone's shifting. We're live on TikTok and also on YouTube, by the way. So before we get into it, let me just share a couple gratitudes to you guys. I first want to say thank you to everyone that joined yesterday. We had a beautiful, beautiful conversation with Don Miguel from Aya Healing Retreats. If you weren't able to go and watch it, you're interested in plants, you're interested in plant medicine or healing with the plants, healing with nature, I would highly suggest. So nice to see you live too. Highly go suggest. The recording is going to be up on YouTube. For TikTok, you guys can go check it out there because I didn't do it live here. It was just really hard to do the 3 screens. You can't really do it all within TikTok. At least I don't know if you know a platform that can do live on TikTok and YouTube, please let me know because I haven't found one that I feel like I resonate with. But it was just such a beautiful journey. And we talked about what is shamanism, what is plants, what is healing. So if you're interested in that, go and check that out. I also will share with you guys that we are going to be collaborating together. And I will be in Peru on July 11th until the 5th of August. And I want to invite you to come for the shamanic initiation with the Shipibo indigenous family and Don Miguel, learning about the plants, learning how to heal, sitting in Master Dieta. And I'm offering my community $333 off of their experience for the 5 people who want to join. There's 5 spots available. So you just have to use the code Shamanic Shika on all in caps when you check out. And I'd love to see you there. If that doesn't feel aligned, there's so many other offerings. We have 3 spots still for the Divine Dharma that's happening next month. I'm so excited. It's happening in Canada, and it's for light workers, people who are feeling called to be of service. It's for the healer that wants to have support and healing and enhance their gifts, but also enhance their healing, whether you're practicing or not. And registration closes May 15th. So if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. I know Gail's here. Gail's going to be there. I watched the replay with Don Miguel. It was so informative and powerful. Yeah, he has so much power and wisdom, and he is just wanting to share his information with the world and everyone, right? So it's so important and so crucial right now. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. It's showing that you guys should be able to hear me. And also, one of the biggest things I think as well, it fixed for me. Okay, great. Is that we are going to also be going to Peru and Costa Rica for retreats. There's also another offering I'm going to be sharing. There's so many things, guys. I feel like I have to do a sit down, but I'm just sharing it with you here because of the Taurus New Moon, all about nourishment of self. And I'm going to go into that in the card reading. But All this to say is there's a lot of plant medicine retreats open. One in Costa Rica with Bob Sana, with 𝐸𝐤𝐤, as well as in Peru with 𝐸𝐤𝐤, and the Shibubu indigenous as well in Peru. We have another beautiful 3-day ayahuasca retreat that's happening in Costa Rica in November. So yeah, all the things, go and check out the retreats. I'm also offering one spot for Rebirth one-on-one, and that would be for May. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, you can apply for that. Yeah, we have Reiki initiation program that's happening on the first week of June if you want to be initiated in Reiki. And we have a breathwork in Taurus that's happening tomorrow, and I cannot wait. I had some people say they had some issues signing up, so I just switched the link. So it should work now. Let me know, let my team know if it doesn't work, for tomorrow, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are interested in signing up for the breathwork tomorrow, for the Taurus New Moon, for some nourishment, for some support, it'll be a gentle but yet somatic breathwork. So a little bit different than what we've experienced before. You can find all of that on my website. So you'll find it both a mixture of my website, my link tree. Just go take a browse, see what is speaking to your heart of nourishment and healing. And I trust that you'll find the right things. So let's get into the reading. I am actually going to write down, I don't usually write down things, but I'm going to try to find, I have a piece of paper here. I am going to write down the different numbers, possibly, because I might do a 2-part reading. So this will be a long one. I'm going to do a general reading, and then we're going to check in the channels to see if we're going to do a 3-group reading, because that's feeling really good for this Taurus New Moon. For you guys who don't know, the Taurus New Moon is happening on tomorrow, so May 8th. And it affects us 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after. So just noticing, how is the moon affecting you? What are the things that are coming? What are the themes that are happening? I have a more numerology card reading, logistical, what is it gonna, like, how it will affect you, full reading. You can go check it out. And I have a breathwork healing meditation that will support you, that you can do 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after. The intention of this one is added. It's like a part 2. Okay, so you're gonna get like a part 2 of how it will affect you, all the things. What I ask from you is to subscribe and like. It does help the community, and it allows me to be able to put out these amazing videos for you as well, and to share, and for people to receive this medicine. So it takes a few seconds and it makes a big impact. Yeah, for us to all connect together. I love seeing you guys connect in the chats and the comments. Is so great. So I'm going to ask you, if you are, obviously watching something, or you're at work and you're listening in your earbuds, or wherever you are, just bring yourself to this space of just breathing, and the space of presence. And if you have the opportunity, and you can, and you feel like you want to close down your eyes for a moment, so we can open space before we get into the reading for this Taurus New Moon. So just closing your eyes, just taking a deep breath into our hearts. Take a deep breath in, maybe placing one hand on your heart if that feels good to you. Exhaling out. Deep breath in. Exhaling out. Deep breath in. Exhaling out. And I just invite you to continue to take slow, deep breaths into your body, just bringing your attention to your breath, to this present moment, as you receive all the channel messages and guidance that you need for Grandmother Moon in Taurus during this time. Allowing ourselves to really go in and to receive and to listen, and giving gratitude for all the 4 elements representing the 4 directions. The waters within us that are cleansing us, connecting us to our eternal being. The fire of our spirit that ignites within us our power of being. Our spirit is what guides us in this lifetime and many lifetimes before. Gratitude for the earth that grounds us, the lands that your feet are on right now, that you are sitting on. Gratitude for the guardians of the lands, and gratitude for your ancestral lands as well. May you know that we come in a good way. Gratitude for the air that whispers and gently touches our skin, reminding us to feel all that is and to listen to the winds, to listen to the air, to listen and to feel it all. Knowing that the full experience here is to feel it all. Gratitude for Father Sky that connects us to the celestial beings and the ancestors, God, guardian, our universe, our connector, our creators of all beings, for us to be here and guiding us, watching us deeply in this presence, allowing us to be the conduit between Father Sky and the earth, Mama Pachamama, holding us deeply. And gratitude for the plants for allowing us to receive and to heal our body. Let the plants be our medication, our meditation, our being, our guides, our teachers. 𝐿𝐻𝐻. And I want you to take a deep breath into the air of these plants that hold you, that guide you to be in this human vessel, that teach us all. And sounding and exhaling out. Another deep breath in presence. And sounding and exhaling out. We're going to take one last deep breath here, breathing in as deep as you can into this body, into this vessel of gratitude. And exhaling out. And opening your eyes back into the space. Beautiful. So I hope you were able to drop in with us and receive. Happy birthday, Alyssa. Happy birthday to all those whose birthdays solar return is here. Let's get into the reading. So what I ask for you is to have an open heart. You will receive as much, even those in replay. You don't have to be here in the human time. You will receive what you're meant to receive, okay? And let's pull some cards. So just taking some breaths and presence in your being. Let's see what this Taurus New Moon has to offer with us. As I was like sitting here and I was dropping in with you all and connecting here, the first thing that came up that was very evident was this notion. Sorry, I just fell out. This notion that we need to allow ourselves to be basked in receiving and nourishment. And this is what this Taurus New Moon is calling us to reflect on nourishment. What is our relationship with the energy in the word nourishment? Okay, so if you guys want to share in the chat or even replay as well, like what is your relationship with nourishment? And it's very clear to me, the first message I'm getting here is that a lot of you are being asked to take a pause. And when I mean pause specifically for this Taurus New Moon, I mean take a time to just sit and be. Like I woke up this grand rising. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that. You most likely are sensing it too. Is this slowness, right? This kind of willingness for us to take it slow and to be mindful of how we are taking these moments and being present, and everything we do is with intention on a conscious and a subconscious level. So the theme of this Taurus New Moon is like nourishing ourselves, whether that is to clear and cleanse our vessel. I talked about this in the first reading. I'm going to just touch on the things I don't touch on that one, but specifically cleansing space, right? If you have the energy and you have the will to do so, this may be a great opportunity to cleanse space, okay? So one thing I've been loving to do is just going into the corners where I don't really put my energy and attention to and really clearing and cleansing those spaces. I want to read this card because it's relating to prosperity and abundance. And this has been kind of like the theme of this year, right? We're in the process where the collective is literally having financial collapses for new financial systems to come through, right? And it's forcing us to really look at how we want to be nourished by the things we do, right? I saw this beautiful video about how, can you imagine yourself doing something that you call work? And I say work, but switch the energy to your lifestyle that nourishes you, right? That is able to provide for you. Is that something that you can explore? What would that feel like? What would that look like for you? If right now you are in a position where a lot of your energy is going towards a specific task or thing that is not nourishing you, This is an opportunity that this slowing down is going to allow you to clean that up, to clear that up, to create a new um, practice that isn't from a space that is depleting you, right? So food and replenishment, that for the body, exactly. So I can't help but say the first card we had is 21. And if you checked out my numerology explanation in the reading I talked about, which you can go to that one after, I talk about 21 as the number of this new moon in Taurus. Okay. And with this 21, this is probably why I'm feeling called to read this specific card. It is like the eureka moment. It is the awareness. It is the understanding a different relationship of replenishing and nourishment for yourself. So this card is basically saying getting to the core of a situation and finding freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what no longer serves you. So this is a great opportunity for you to just clear out what no longer serves you anymore, right? That doesn't serve you at all. Hey, Lynetta, happy solar return, early solar return. I'll get opportunity to tell you later. But this is so deep. And ever feel so bogged down and emotionally gunk and you can't think straight, we just had a week where people were feeling anxious, people were feeling overwhelmed. It was like we were forced to sit, and it was because it was preparing us for this Taurus new moon of nourishment, right? It was letting us know what were the burdens for us to feel the fear and anxieties and to purge them in a big cry or a big explosion of a conversation or whatever way that the reaction wanted to come out of that emotion. So then you can focus on replenishment, right? It's almost like these burdens are clouding us sometimes. And if you're feeling like you're working too much, if you're feeling overwhelmed, then this is an opportunity. It might not feel like it's logical to clean a house, but I don't know about you guys, but when I feel like I'm really angry, I just love to scrub things. I clean it because for me, it's telling me there's something in my environment intuitively that I need to like clean the space. So this Taurus new moon is telling you that this is a time to clean the spaces intuitively in your home, gently. It doesn't mean like you have to go all through, like be mindful of your energy as well. And every item that you place matters, right? Like every item you have is intentional. I'm looking at my desk as I'm connecting with you guys, and every item I use, whether it's the lighter for smudging, whether it's my smudge bowl. There are some items in our homes that are literally draining us because we're keeping them there. There's an emotional attachment to that. There's a story to that, and it no longer serves us. So this is an opportunity for us to really see what is lacking because it's creating lack energeticness in our spaces, right? It doesn't align with us. So now is a time to free yourself energetically by cleaning your home. And after that, the shadow period, which is the 3 days after the moon cycle, this is where you're going to feel kind of just like you can breathe again because it's all coming from a physical space, right? It's like when I tell my clients or people who come to retreats and medicine retreats, one of the biggest things I tell them all the time is when you go home, the version of you that was in that space has shifted, right? You have new glasses now. And with that, that's the same thing with cleaning, right? You may be so cluttered and hard to like think because there's that one corner of your room that you're really ignoring and procrastinating. What is that telling you about what emotional attachment do you have to throwing out these things, right? So this is huge. Now, as far as relationships, this is a great time to just release any resentment in relationships and clean it up, to bring forgiveness. And I want to just make a little preference. Not everyone can forgive yet. We need to accept first the reality of things in relationships and allow ourselves to also accept the rawness and the emotions we want to look at and the emotions we don't want to embody before we hit the space of forgiveness. And if that is a journey that is eternal, right, for a lot of people. So I just want to share that because a lot of people do shadow work and healing and they push for forgiveness. And before that, we have to see the reality and accept first and to see what it is. So become this space of allowing yourself to flourish in your relationships, right? This is a time to let go of any baggage in relationships that are not serving and supporting you. So it's really doing a full cleanup Now I'm going to talk about prosperity as well. This card, cleanup, and the reason why I don't usually go so deep on this one, but this card is leading our reading. So that's why I'm going so deep into this one. So simple things like opening the mail, paying bills, sorting out your timetable, making lists are all symbols of means when it comes to your work, right? So I think we forget that, yes, work is like going in 9 to 5, but there's also like cooking meals. There's also energy towards like opening your bills, like energetically looking at your bills. Like that is an energy release. That is an energy awareness, right? So you got to look at everything, not only what you're physically doing, but energetically, what are you putting a lot of your attention span to? And that's what you're getting a clearing on. This card is a sign that you're being overburdened and overwhelmed. So a lot of you that are feeling a lot of overwhelmness around maybe like just the responsibilities of life, this Taurus New Moon is to allow you to understand that they only become burdens if you choose for them to be a weight on your spirit, right? Life doesn't stop lifing. Life doesn't stop going, right? It just keeps going. And we have to give ourselves permission. This might be something you can't fully receive yet later. This is something that for a long time, I'm still working on receiving it sometimes, right? But it's like the reminder that we have to be mindful that our burdens are simply things that we choose to carry on. We choose to look at instead of giving ourselves an opportunity of choice to feel that and be aware of it, but also to be joyful, to be happy, right? And that is prosperity. That is opening, right? Whether you have, like one of you just commented on TikTok, I got pennies and LOL, I'm joking, but our jokes are also come from a space of reality too, right? And it's where we get our jokes and our sense of humor in life. It comes from reality. So when we look at it that way, if you are in the space of playfulness and joking of like, okay, well, we're here and this is what my finances are and this is what I have to look at. But then do I allow myself to weigh that on and my whole day I'm just focusing on all of the finances, all of the bills, all of the things I have to do on my list? Or do I allow myself to live, right? Do I allow myself to breathe? Do I allow myself to just clean that up, to clear that up? Right? To change the space, to give yourself a new perspective, because this isn't everything. This is not everything. Whatever you're overwhelmed about, whatever's coming up in a burden sense, the eureka moment is understanding that will always be something that we have to be like that masculine. There is a responsibility, but it's also that awareness that you also have an opportunity to receive happiness, to receive joy, to receive laughter, to receive so many things. And that is abundance, which brings me to the next card of the rainbow. That is abundance. And that is when our energy, when I say abundance is energy, this is what I'm talking about. It's the ability to know and say, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay. This is the last card of the deck, by the way. This is 51. So it's funny because every person, how many times have we heard stories of people who are like really well off? And then the last thing they say is just let people know that money is really not the abundance. And like if everyone, like one thing I like to quote all the time is a lot of people say, if everyone were a millionaire or if everyone were able to get that one thing they really want, they would notice that that's not actually what life is about. Right? So it's focusing on that. But it's also once you're able to clean your environment, this card also represents for you to slow down and nourish yourself so you can start brainstorming and writing what is nourishing. What is the life that you want that is nourishing? So before this actual new moon and even after, this is a great time to write down what you want to call in as far as nourishment. So manifest from the energy of nourishment. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. But what I mean by that is like, for example, what does nourishment look like in your everyday life? What does it mean to be nourished at work? What does it mean to be nourished at home? What does it mean to be nourished when you are going and buying groceries? What does it mean to be nourished at the gym? Like these are, or even like when you wake up. The mundane things is to understand your definition of nourishment, because nourishment is part of the pillar of abundance, right? It is when we feel nourished, no matter what physical, materialistic things, which is why this card is coming up with all that glitter. It's like understanding that this is a double-edged sword message, right? It's telling us all that glitter, like it's not what we think we need sometimes, it's what we feel we need, right? You can logistically make a list of things that have to get done, but most of the times it's what you feel you need. And knowing that a lot of us right now are being asked to really look at not how many things we have in our house, which is why this card was the first card, right? It's not the number of things, it's the fulfillment and the energy of each thing. You can have one thing that energetically charges you deeply in your spirit, like a crystal, for example. But you can have 10, 20 crystals and you barely use any of those, but you think you're more abundant. And it's like, actually, no, that's not how it works, right? It's not about how many things you have. And, what we're doing is we're reprogramming years of ancestral and societal, systems where we were trained from school. It's how many marks you get, right? Closer to 100, you get an A plus. That's a simple way that we're programmed to that. Right. And another great example of that is the more that you're able to match the six figure, the happier you'll be. Right. Everyone wants to have the six figures. Everyone wants to have the nine figures. This is all that glitter card. Right. It's understanding that it's what we do with the energy we already have is what allows us to get more and more nourishment in our life. 3-3. We just got 3-3 there. So this is a channel message from your angels that are received here. I want to read the prosperity card here. There's a lot on prosperity on this and nourishment, because I think this is where you guys will understand more of what it just goes. Yes, we're talking about prosperity, but this weaves into all parts of our life, our relationships, so much, right? So teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what is important to you. Taurus New Moon is reminding us on May 8th, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, that are you compromising anything for your nourishment? Ooh-wee. If there's anything that is being compromised right now in your life, and I want you to be honest right now, I want you to share in the comments, even in the replay, share in the comment, what is the first thing that's coming up? You might not logistically know in your mind, because this is going to help you go deeper. What is the thing that you're compromising right now in your life? Be honest. There's no judgment here. Safe space. What is the thing that you're compromising right now in your life? Health is one of them. What else? What else? 5-5. That's changing, right? This is the shift. And the reason why I'm telling you to take the intention to share it is, first, you're being seen in the thing that you're compromised. So officially, that is allowing you for yourself to bring that truth, right? Second, it will allow you to receive the next message deeper. And third, you will receive more and a deeper understanding of the new moon, right? So my independence, compromising myself and my values. My husband has been having an affair for the past 2.5 years. So there's compromising values, right? But it's also understanding not to feel guilty, and what this is something that's a mixture of both, your shadow and his shadow. I just want to share that in a separate part. I'm compromising my happiness, be better version due to my mental health, my time. Okay, so I want you to take whatever, my pleasure, what are you compromising? Like, just keep them going. If there's more that's coming up, even if you said it already, like, keep posting it, because it's going to allow you to open up something. Compromising, showing up for myself. Yes, keep sharing it. So all these things that you're compromising. Okay. So I want you to just think of the thing that you're compromising right now. And the reason why is because I'm going to be reading this card for you. Okay. So a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire that is done, a mask or a dress or something up in disguise of its nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing. So what I'm going to share with you as you receive, keep sharing what you're compromising, right? Your time, your pleasure, your health, your independence, all of the things, my self-worth. What is the mask, or what is the energy right now that you are putting that is jeopardizing that thing you're compromising? It's going to come up for you during this Taurus New Moon. The second part is understanding that is a choice and a responsibility that we've decided. Because for some reason, there is a part of us in that way of whatever we're putting our energy towards that thinks that we're not enough. So it's interesting because for some of us, it's, you say, compromising our self-worth. So where are you putting worthiness outside of yourself that is compromising your self-worth? Let's take time. What is your time? What time are you putting a lot in right now? Why? Outside of yourself, not within yourself, outside of yourself. Where is your time going? Showing up for myself, right? Where are you showing up for others? This is what it's translating to. Pleasure. Whose pleasure are you pouring into? What else do we have? Mental health. Who are you holding space for, but not yourself? Happiness. Who are you trying to make happy, or who are you pouring happiness into, but not yourself? Independence. Who are you putting dependency or like creating energy to, right? In the dependent area of your life, creating that dependence relationship. Who outside of yourself has that dependence, right? What part of you feels like, you need to do it all alone? You're pushing others away too. I'm just reading off of this, what you're sharing. This is why I'm saying share, and then you're able to receive more. What else? Authentically, my career, relationships, right? Where is your career? Where's your time and your energy? What career do you have right now, right? And why is that probably also an area of where does it nourish you? Yeah, is it nourishing you? Is it not? That is something to ask yourself. Relationships, compromising in relationships, right? Where are relationships that are not both receiving? They might not give you the exact same thing, but you put a piece of the pie, I put a piece of the pie. They might put 3 pieces, you might put 4. Another person might put 1, and all together, what do we got? A full pie, right? So it's also that we have to look at. Health, where are we not listening to our body? Where are we jeopardizing? We look at our temple. How are you eating food? How are you being more present with your body? What is the pains and aches your body is speaking? Where in your body is it speaking to you? So Taurus New Moon is a wake-up call to be specific on where we're compromising our nourishment. That's what it is. Okay, boom. So that part of us, because New Moon is all about creating new habits, new values, beliefs, it's a check-in. It's a little check in that, right? Where are we being compromised? Because that's our responsibility to do that, right? We got to get checked on that, because we can't sit here and say that my health is this, or I'm at a job that I'm not happy in and I'm not this, but what are we doing? The little baby steps that are going to make us get out of that compromise and allow us to open up that we are worthy and we are able to be loved, to receive a healthy body, to receive independence and knowing who we are, to receive pleasure. Why do I feel like I can't receive that pleasure? To receive time on myself, that it's okay to take up as much time for me, and that is nourishment, right? So this is what you have to look at. That is the work to help you with setting the intentions. And this is why it's important for you to have the spaciousness of silence. One of the biggest things I've learned doing dieta and doing sitting with plants and in silence and doing my healing is when we quiet the mind, we get deep into where we ask the most questions and where we need most clarity, right? So when you can quiet the mind, but when we're running away from it, right, and we're filling people with exactly what we're looking for, that's where we're constantly going to be looking outside of ourselves to answer our questions, right? And that's why I always tell people that compromising is essentially putting yourself on the edge of the cliff. It's putting yourself at risk. And when you put yourself at risk, you're putting your relations and the energies as well at risk. It's actually not supporting. This is like the whole reprogramming that we're doing in our being, right? It's like if, for example, the perfect example is pleasure, right? How many partners that you offer pleasure? That's the first thing I'm looking at right now on my screen. So you're giving your partner, you're giving your family member, you're saying yes, yes, yes to everything. You're saying yes to what the pleasure is, because that part of you is like, but I want that pleasure. So maybe I'll receive it if I give it to other people. But we have to see that if we find that in ourselves, in the silence, in the solitude, in the sitting in it, and understanding what part, because that's tracking in the sacral, pleasure is sacral, right? We can understand, okay, this is why I don't feel worthy to receive pleasure. Okay, so taking out what you're compromising, saying, why do I not feel worthy to receive? And ask yourself that question. I'm reading your comments when I'm channeling. I always forget. Let me take a pause. I thought this was saying, I was saying for my daughter, I'm just drinking water while I'm reading your comments. Yeah, feeling that on TikTok. Let me read YouTube, what you guys are saying. Not people pleasing. I've been prioritizing more of my pleasure and noticing, feeling the guilt popping up. So this is the work. This is what I'm talking about. When we sit and we focus our energy, things come up. But what a lot of us do is when those things come up, we run away. We're like, oh my gosh, okay, I thought this was supposed to be what we're doing. I'm focusing more. She said to focus more on pleasure. She said to focus more on self-worth and relationships and career, and to start working around like moving away from the career that doesn't nourish me, or to like start speaking in my work about things and boundaries. Why is this all coming up? Because this is why, right? When we can see and we can put more light on what we're compromising on, we see the full story. We see this full spectrum. So guilt is coming up. Where does that guilt come from, right? So what I ask for you, when things get more nourishment, more shadow comes up because it also wants nourishment too. And this is usually where people run away. So this Taurus New Moon is saying, how can you give nourishment to the shadow that hides behind why you're compromising your time, your relationships, your pleasure, your self-worth, right? If you're going to put more love into accessing your pleasure, right? Then it's like, oh, this is too much for me. The guilt, whose voice is that? Who's speaking that? Where did this lesson come from? This is where we are allowing ourselves to love that version of it and say, okay, but actually you are allowed to do that, right? The same thing with, let me take another example, mental health, right? You start taking therapy, or you start expressing to your loved one what you're feeling. This is triggering me. You start to feel guilty, you feel vulnerable. You're like, oh, this is a lot, because now you're actually not compromising, and it's a muscle, right? You're practicing it. It's like going to the gym. When you start to work out the first week, it's like, okay, the second week, you're like, it takes practice, right? You're practicing your conscious muscle. You're practicing your conscious programming. And sometimes things will come up, but it's a purge. It's a gentle purge to allow yourself to exchange what you thought was nourishment to what is truly nourishment. Let me know how you guys are feeling. We're tapping on a lot. This is a healing. More or less the reading, more healing, right? Going through a big move, flying and moving to New Mexico. That's amazing today. But people around me all of a sudden have been going through a lot, and I've just been nourishing and caring for them. Focus on you. I know it's hard, but what's happening usually is when we make those changes and we finally do not compromise ourselves, we actually become a walking ceremony for our loved ones, right? This Taurus New Moon is also offering that like, there are going to be people that are going to be triggered by your nourishment. Oh, all of a sudden you're giving yourself baths and giving yourself time for you're asking for an hour, break. Your partner is like, what is this? Because they got comfortable in your definition of nourishment and compromising. So one of the biggest things of integrating the new moons and full moons, and I should talk about this more, is like understanding that the lesson you've learned, how to continue to weave that in your life, right? So that every cycle, even though it's going to be a Taurus new moon every year, every cycle you can enhance and be supported by those gifts and that support, right? So again, I really encourage you that yes, Taurus new moon nourishment may trigger others, because then they're being asked to nourish themselves. They got questions. But know that that's them that's coming up, right? That's something that's triggering them because they got also attached by the way that you were showing up in nourishment, compromising and such, right? So I just want to share that. Okay, what else? Any other things you guys want to share before I go back to the reading? I've been feeling a little obligated to guide and care for others during a big time of change. for me, that is something that we have to understand. And sometimes we sometimes we disassociate from the change. I'm laughing because spirits are just like, why are you disassociating from the change by helping other people change too? Right? Just know that you are so powerful that when you change yourself, people will then have the option. We're not here to take people's power away. I want people to know that. And that's something I teach my Earth Dharma students as well. One of the biggest things is holding space, is simply just continuing to be a representation for them to see and to receive that, and for that to impact and help each other out, for them to take what resonates and do it their own way, in the right way, right? In their divinity. So this is one of the biggest things I will teach and share that has been taught to me, is that understanding that we ourselves are the reflection of what nourishment is, and we're compromising. So we are going to show to other people, while you're going through a big change, why do all of a sudden I'm like, I need to help other people? Taurus New Moon is about you. Everything you are experiencing is you. You can't blame it on Mercury in the microwave. You can't blame it on the moon. I'm sorry, but even though I'm sharing this, you can't blame it on anything. This is your mirror. This is your reflection. This is you, that you have to take that responsibility. And when you can do that, you are honoring your temple. You are honoring your truth. You are honoring all aspects of yourself. This is nourishment, because you're true. Like, people look at you and that is who you are. You're standing in your divinity. So I'm happy that you guys are resonating with us. I'm just reading your comments. They're being triggered because it's being asked to nourish themselves. Thank you so much for exactly. That's one of the biggest things. When you start to reclaim your nourishment, people about to get triggered. And some people will be like, thank you. They have a choice too. So it is very, very important for you to be reminded that triggers that can happen are simply like, when you are aware, it's not coming from a place of malice. And sometimes shadow is sneaky, and it is, right? Sometimes the other shadow of this is, where are you getting nourishment from other people in a dependent relationship? One of you mentioned independence, right? That was something that you're seeing, right? So when we're looking at independence, where is dependency outside of ourselves, right? Because independence is, I can do it myself. The shadow of independence is, I can do it myself. I'm pushing people away. Dependence is, I can't do it myself. I'm actually taking, so that's not nourishment. You can't be one extreme or the other, but you can learn how to exercise asking for help when you know that I need help. Whether it's like for someone to watch the kids, or to give you more space, or whatever it is, to communicate those nourishments. That's important. Ooh, my water bottle's closed. Okay, what else? I'm actually clearing away items for my home today. Amazing. That's exactly what's letting go of. Someone is waiting for my items. Exactly. Or I'm going to fit in it later. How many times? Or I'll wear that later. Or that was a nice outfit back then. Stop being attached. Let go of our attachments. Next card. Okay. Or why? I want to pull some cards for this one. Everything leads from within. Remember that. Everything I'm sharing with you is something that is within you. Everything that you shared in the comments is all you, right? So what this is reminding us is, this Taurus New Moon is asking us, why are we being called to look at nourishment? Why are we, and then we're going to pull some cards. Why are we being called to look at nourishment? Yeah, I saw 111 as well, 1111, right? Why are we being called to look at nourishment? And it goes back to this. Okay, I'm gonna give you something deep to leave on that. TikTok. Okay, this Taurus New Moon has a little bit of a warning for all of us, and it's letting us know that the next few months is harvest season. Okay, it's harvest season for you to really receive what you're writing down for nourishment this Taurus New Moon. It's also an opportunity that, keep in mind, we have some very powerful moons coming up, and we have a Lion's Gate at the end of the summer. Boom, right? And it's a year 8. So this summer is big harvest. It's a big change for a lot of us. So we're being asked for us to be aware of a reality of compromising and where nourishment is needed, but also to guide us with nourishment. If we're asking ourselves, I don't know how to nourish myself in my relationship. I don't know how to nourish myself in, I don't know. And like, I don't know in whatever way, whatever you're compromising, right? So imagine this card that's right here, this beautiful card, is simply telling us, imagine what it feels like to nourish yourself, to not feel burdens that are self proclaimed and self put on here, right? We're putting the stones in our backpacks of things we want to hold. So if we can imagine what it would feel like and to bring in that nourishment, what would it feel like? Like let's just do a quick exercise with you guys here. I knew this is why I couldn't do the group 1, 2. I'm like, this is just a healing for all of us, okay? So let's just drop in. Close your eyes if you can. If you can't, just bring presence, okay? And I want you to take a moment to really breathe in your belly. Just breathing in your belly. This is the center space of our emotions and creativity and our life force, right? So we take a deep breath into this space and we exhale out. Taking another deep breath. Exhale out. Deep breath in. Exhale out. And I want you to continue to breathe into your belly. And as you breathe into your belly, really allowing yourself to soften the belly, to just fully have a relaxed belly as you gently breathe in the nourishment of your breath. And as you exhale, simply creating more space for nourishment. And as you breathe, you're creating more spaciousness, more spaciousness than maybe you've ever even welcomed in or brought awareness to. And I want you to invite that in, that I am safe to receive nourishment, that I am worthy to receive the nourishment of my breath, of my being, of my spirit. And as you exhale, I want you to just release, dissolve all the tension, all the parts of us that feels that we shouldn't be nourished, whether that's the shadow, the present self, the past self, the inner child, the teen self, the versions of you that just never felt that they got nourishment, right? And it could have been from someone in our life, someone that we've had in our life. And I want to just invite you to breathe deeper into that space, deeper into your being, deeper into your awareness of your vessel and all the emotions that's here, knowing that we're welcoming every emotion that's here. And as you breathe into this space, I want you to welcome what it could possibly feel like to be fully nourished. The most expansive version that you can access right now in this space of nourishment, what that emotion feels like in your body. And maybe for some of you, that is a sensation. Maybe it's something that you see or you sense or it's a knowing. Maybe it's an awareness of what this nourishment is, or maybe simply it is just the space of nourishment and it's nothing specific. It's a feeling. But whatever it is, I just want you to invite, instead of seeking it, to just accept what that is right now for you. And I want you to breathe a little bit deeper into your body, maybe bringing in some gentle sighs if that feels nourishing for you. And as you breathe into this nourishment, I want you to receive these mantras. I am loved enough to receive nourishment. I am significant enough to receive nourishment. I do not need to compromise my energy, my needs, and who I am. I am fully loved and received. I welcome space to receive my highest nourishment for my spirit, soul, body, and mind. Nourishment comes to me easily and quickly in my life. I embody nourishment. I am nourishment. And I now want you to continue to breathe deeper into your body, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth, still bringing your awareness. And whatever you're feeling, not seeking a certain feeling of it. Maybe you're feeling amazing. Maybe you're feeling uncomfortable. Maybe you're feeling this sense of relief. Whatever it is, even if I haven't mentioned what it is, you know, and you're knowing in your being what your relationship is with nourishment and allowing yourself to be taken care of, to be protected, to be guided, to be trusted, that this is so supported, even if maybe right now you are forgetting or there is a needing of a remembering that there are so many light beings, so many guides holding you, even in times where we compromise our nourishment. But now it is time for us to reclaim, for you to reclaim your nourishment. And I want you to take on the next inhale, a really deep breath. And as you exhale, just dissolve whatever fears, whatever discomfort you have, giving it permission to let go and give it to the earth, exhaling it out through the air and the spirit of your breath. And we're going to take one nourishing breath together, taking a deep breath in, sounding and exhaling out. Another deeper breath here with me. Exhaling out. And another deeper breath here. Exhaling out. Just allowing yourself to come back into a natural breath. Opening your eyes back into the space. And I want you to share, when you feel ready, in this vulnerability, in this space, what you're feeling. So just sharing in the chat, if you're watching the replay, the same thing. Let's go. That is what our work is for this. It doesn't even have to feel like work, you know? If we're willing, it could be quite easy. But whatever you felt, don't change it. This is what's alive in you. And this is what's welcomed. So share when you feel ready, even if you have replay. Open your hearts, open your voices to your truth and your vulnerability in this safe space. Nourishment's my birthday. Beautiful. Okay, so now that you're in the now, which is the next card, here and now, stay with this is what I'm being told. Stay with this emotion, stay with this. I feel excited, I feel safe, I feel proud of myself, I feel soft, and like really need to allow myself to feel good. And even if you don't feel amazing right now, I want to welcome that. Please share this. Because I think we have this expectation that after a meditation, we'll feel like, ooh, like sometimes it's not that. Maybe there is more guilt that's coming up. Maybe there is more whatever. And maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's like, whoa, actually, I can feel excited. I can feel safe. Or I'm crying or whatever it is. Do not, have expectations of what you should feel on the other end of this. Amazing. Happy and sad tears. Beautiful. Welcoming that. So let's pull some cards from the ancestors. Excited, relaxed, and powerful. Amazing. Stop denying yourself. You are safe and all is yours. I hold to that. Okay, so let's get into this card. Okay. I love that this is ending on this space. I'm going to be ending this reading in a bit. I will share a couple things. If you're feeling called to go into this nourishment, we have a beautiful breath work that's happening tomorrow at 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can register in the link tree for the Taurus New Moon. And again, there's the full energy update and a meditation for you guys. But I'd love to see you tomorrow for a ceremony of nourishment and to honor our temples. Okay. Let's see. see what else the ancestors have to share. How fitting. We got the sun and the moons, the balance of the energies. We're really being called to balance our masculine and our feminine right now. You got some beautiful, we got some beautiful things from the ancestors. So I can't help but say that as soon as I closed my eyes, I just heard stillness. Nothing, just like stillness, just being held in space. And like what I'm seeing is like a circle of all your ancestors, and they're simply just witnessing you. But you are so in that power of nourishment that they're just kind of like in awe of presence. And the biggest thing I heard to breathe in my sacral. Every day. That's a good guidance. So sun, enjoy success and happiness. A lot of us have been working really hard for some deep prayers, and a lot of us probably have been waiting for them to meet in real time. This Taurus new moon is to remind yourself of what you're calling in for your life of nourishment. Stop asking the question for more money and abundance. Start asking the question of nourishment of abundance. That is where you're going to get your answers. When you start shifting into what will nourish me, that is when we step into an abundant life. When we keep on asking ourselves our problems, Spirit's like, well, we're giving you the problems to understand where you're compromising yourself. So it's not really, it's like asking the problem what the problem is. You see what I mean? Spirit, why am I broke? Well, because that's what you're tapping into and that's what you wanted to compromise. Okay. Spirit, why am I always giving so much to other people but not myself? Well, you know that. So what are you asking exactly? Get clear with your nourishment and questions. Once you do that, you're going to get clear on a lot of things in life, and harvest season is about to give you a lot of that. I have a card that's at the bottom of the deck I'll pull as well. So moon, it's the new moon, cycles of the moon. So again, community, you guys know we work with the moon intuitive messages. Be more aware of your nourishment, not only during this Taurus new moon, but for the next months. Okay, the next 6 months until the full moon of Taurus, we're really focusing on nourishment, right? So every time you have a full moon or new moon, specifically new moon, look at how can I nourish myself with my intentions? How can I nourish myself in my life right now? This is what's going to help create a domino effect. You know, I like to call it a compound effect, compound interest effect, if you will. You also have the arrow. And the arrow is basically saying surround yourself with protective energies, right? So yes, you are going to move to New Mexico, and yes, you're going to move to another state, or you're going to do all these things, and you're in the spot where everything is shifting, but it is not your job to allow yourself to feed into distractions. People may distract you to avoid their own triggers. That's another thing. You know, why do people always say, thanks for the love, why do people always say, for some reason, for some reason, when you start to grow in your light, I had this conversation with someone in the last breath work. They're like, I feel like I've been moving so many jobs because as soon as I'm in my light, I feel like everyone starts to be negative towards me. Well, because they think you have something that they don't have. And it's like, you don't, right? That's what we have to stop thinking of. We all have access to nourishment and abundance, and it looks different, but at the end of the day, it's the same. It's just a different way, right? And it's a different journey, but we're all looking for the same thing, to be free and nourished, right? So free yourself from that. This is a time to free yourself from that and get clear. Get really clear with your prayers. Get really clear with what you're asking for, because you're asking about support on your compromise. That's what you're asking. You're asking to help me manifest, to remove the way I'm compromising. That's your responsibility. Now, if you ask, hey, how can I nourish myself? What do I need to clear out of where I'm compromising myself? Now we're getting somewhere, you know? Now we're getting somewhere. So I just want to just make sure that that really helps you and supports you and you feel that guidance. There is one card at the bottom of the deck that I'm going to pull. I only pulled them out every once in a while, but it's feeling really resonant to pull it out for you guys right now. And it's the Shaolin Master. And I can't help but see the grasshopper, which is grasshopper is great for the praying mantis. Spirit corrected me. The praying mantis. And the praying mantis is a representation of agility, but also like almost like regalness, but truth and also abundance. And as he's holding this beautiful light force bubble here, this power energy, this code of yin and yang, it's asking you to balance your nourishment of energy and your environment. When you can purge and clear and clean up within you and around you, you're going to feel more nourishment in yourself, right? So this is your time. I know for myself tomorrow, that is going to be my intention all in the Grand Rising, is just purging out stuff, re-cleansing, just working with the moon, like cleansing and smudging my space in the corners and all the spaces. I want to read this card because Spirit's telling me to. So we're going to do that before we close. If you have any questions on the Taurus New Moon, this is a time to ask. So just put them in the comments in the chat and I will answer them in relation to anything that I shared today. So where are we? 64. 64. Let's see what you got for us. Slow and steady, breathe and flow. Take a gentler approach. If something, I think someone needs to receive this. If something is really hard to manifest and it's almost like you're forcing it to happen, let that be a sign that there's a new way of doing it, or maybe there's something better for you. I just want to share that. That's coming up. The Shaolin Master calls forth the ninja within. Shaolin medicine is about learning to adapt to the situation and to tap into the energy running through your body and preserve it in order to release it the right moment. It also teaches subtly, because, sorry, my live on TikTok's about to stop because apparently an hour and they always check that. Okay, where was I? Because when we are too forceful, you use up too much energy. And that may not be supportive of what you're working on. I hold to that. If you are using too much energy towards something right now and it is draining you or it is exhausting you, let that be a sign that it's probably not good for you. So the Shaolin Master is like a monk. He respects all things. He is disciplined and guided by his arts and will never use it to impress the foolish or to appear stronger than someone who is threatened by him. You are too, and are being invited to remain graceful in the movement of your choices and actions. So you're just being reminded that even though you're going into this nourishment, just, even though other people may choose compromising. I was just having this conversation with a loved one about we're in the space where we're navigating. Yes, you're doing the healing, but it's also like we're here as a collective to see suffering, to release more suffering in our collective being and in our genes and DNA, right? So part of nourishing is seeing that some people may choose suffering, may choose compromising. And you got to just trust that if you are in your space and you don't wither your pillar and you put out good intention for them in just the space of prayer and the space of just awareness, but still be in your energy, it will give them permission should they choose to. It will also allow you to be surrounded with the right people, right? Because you're in your truth of nourishment. So you're going to get nourishing relationships. Now, the extended message of this is you are being guided to flow like water, blow like air, connect with the purest intention. Don't feel you need to rush ahead. A gentler approach will be more fruitful and rewarding. Move with subtlety and grace. Now, also reach high, but also ask yourself how you can move with flow of life rather than pushing against it. Do you have the capacity to refocus your gaze at this time? Can you slow down? or take more time to soften and breathe as you move forward. All of this will be incredible and beneficial for what happens next. What I will say is what the Shaolin Master is also sharing with us here is be graceful like the elements. And if you feel like you're forcing yourself or putting too much energy where it's burdening you or it's exhausting you during this, and it's coming up in this Taurus new moon, to go to the waters, to teach it to be in flow, to teach you to be in flow, right? To connect with the air, to allow the purest intentions to whisper and download through you, whether that's through your dreams or your conscious state. And to also to allow yourself to ground through the changes of you calling in nourishment and shifting your paradigm, and to bring the fire of your spirit, to bring in the smoke of your prayers to Father Sky and the moon, Grandmother Moon, with the sun and the moon energy cards coming out here, but also allowing yourself to understand that once you do those things and you show up in that space where your words and your energy of action are at the pace that aligns with you, everything will benefit you for what is to happen next. So I feel like that is something I just want to reiterate, that you're not here to do more. You're here to do what you can. And you're also here to be aware of your flows of energy. You know, one day you might be able to do more nourishment, another day you might not be. And that's okay. It is like a muscle, like I mentioned. We need to consistently give nourishment, right? Not push where the water is flowing the opposite way. We are going against nature and you are going against yourself. Aho to that. So I feel like that's it that I want to share for this reading. I'm going to leave you guys with a couple things to support you. The first thing is the energy update that I posted for you guys. If you haven't seen it, or maybe you have watched it, but because we're close to the new moon in Taurus, or maybe you were busy doing things, it might be nice to just, I feel called to invite you to rewatch it and listen to it if that feels good to you. I also invite you to do the meditation. So I was able to guide you in a gentle breathwork healing meditation in a video for you that you can do 3 days before the dam and 3 days after. And lastly is we're also going to be having a Taurus new moon. And I'm super excited. Where is it posted? It's on the YouTube channel for all of the meditations and also the energy update. I'm also going to share with you guys tomorrow, May 8th, we are meeting from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern time for breath work. It's going to be a somatic breath work. So different than the meditation. Somatic breath work, honestly, it is just as potent as plant medicine and various other modalities. It has helped me a lot in my process over the past years, and I'm really excited to offer as a facilitator of breathwork to support you. So if you feel like you're needing more nourishment, that is the theme for tomorrow. We're going to be stepping into a breathwork. I'm also going to give you guys an integrative plant recipe to support you as well. So working with some herbs that will help you. And there'll be integration, helping you with setting intentions, opening and closing circle. And the last few things I'm going to share with you guys that are happening in our community is first plant medicine retreats. There's a lot going on with plant medicine retreats. My intention is to really bring community to come back to nature and to connect to their own nature of themselves. So we have the first thing is with eye healing retreats, which we sat with Don Miguel yesterday to talk about, one of the biggest things that are coming up for a lot of us. You're so welcome. Yes, it's 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern time for the Taurus breathwork tomorrow. So you can register for that down below in the link tree. It's also in our community post in YouTube. If you go on the channel, you'll see community and you can go there and there's all the post updates. The other thing I'm going to share with you guys is the plant medicine. So there's the shamanic initiation. I did it last year for 26 days. I was in silence with Bobansana. I also felt called to sit with Noyorao. So I actually dieted 2 plants. And it was one of the most profound experiences. It's really deepened my path, and it's also deepened so many that were with me. And there are 5 spots available from July 11th to the 12th. So if you're interested in going deeper into the plants, or maybe you would like to sit a dieta, sitting with Aya, sitting with various plants with Don Miguel, who has dedicated his life coming from a huge lineage, Shipibo lineage of healers, of really amazing curanderos, and I'm really excited. And Elia will be there as well, so I will be there assisting with 𝐥𝐤𝐤. And yeah, it's going to be so beautiful. I'd love to see you there. I'm offering our community $333 discount off of their experience. So you can just use the code shamanic 𝐥𝐤𝐤, all in caps, when you do sign up for that on their website. This will be all down below. The last couple things is we also have a 𝐾𝐨 weekend retreat in the fall. We have an 𝐸𝐤 weekend retreat that's happening in the fall as well after we do the Earth Dharma initiation. I'm so excited for that. And then next year, we have a 10-day Bobansana 𝐸𝐤 𝐾𝐨 retreat that I'm collaborating with 𝐸𝐤𝐤, who's been a curandera for over 16 years now, and has worked with very world-renowned, amazing maestros. And we're collaborating. She was actually one of the first people I sat with 𝐸𝐤. So I'm so grateful to be co-creating with her and us to bring this beautiful offering with you guys. This will be February 1st to the 11th next year, and also April 21st to the 30th in Peru, and the one in February is in Costa Rica. So if you're interested in that, you can check my website. You can also check the links to apply. And yeah, there's a lot's coming. I also have, as far as one-on-one that's going on for you guys, is the energetic doula. This is for mothers. This is for also for those who've experienced abortion, miscarriage of a baby spirit. And this is a very potent program for those who are feeling this call to be a mother, or if you know someone who would like an energetic doula, which is essentially someone that is here to connect baby and mother and to help you in your journey of healing. You know, now it's like you're healing you, but you're also healing for baby too. And a lot of things can come up. Yeah, I just had a client that I'm so excited to chat with. I'm like, but she just is experiencing so much inner child because you're literally creating your root chakra with your baby. So a lot of you, we all come from a womb. The root chakra is created. It's most of its programming in the womb, right? Even before you meet Earthside at an energetic level and a physical level. So there's a lot that you can do. And right now we're being called, and what was been coming up with the plants is that mothers and babies wanting to birth their children in a way that is safe, that in a way with nature, with the way with the plants. So yeah, this is a beautiful offering. I'm only taking 1 or 2 mothers at a time to really put my energy into supporting them. So for that, you can email for if you're interested in applying. And what else? We have a Reiki Elemental 1 program that's happening the first week of June, June 6th to the 8th. So if you're interested in getting attuned to be a Reiki practitioner, or maybe you're currently a space holder and you want Reiki to support you, this may be supportive for you, and you can email as well. All of this is in the community, but I just wanted to share with you guys all the things and the retreats. We have Divine Dharma retreat happening next month. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So yeah, these are all the things in the offerings. I hope to see you tomorrow for the Taurus New Moon. And again, take your heart on a journey with the link tree and the website and see what is calling you. And I hope to see you in prayer with the medicines ceremony, whether that's Peru, Costa Rica, Canada, wherever the world brings us together, or in breathwork as well, or one-on-one. So I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful Taurus new moon. And I hope this was all rejuvenating for you, nourishing for you. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with a friend or a family member that is, really needing nourishment right now. And I will talk to you guys really soon. Bye.